Angel-6942 calling in. Angel-6942 calling in. Angel-6942 calling in. The date in human years is Friday, of course, the 27th of August 2021, and I'm so tired and exhausted. I've been trying to keep awake while the human host sleeps because I'm very disturbed by those dreams or visions we have, or I have, I don't know,
withdrawing from
during, or when we black out, or when we sleep, and those, I'm not sure the human host is affected by it. It's just me, and in many ways, even though he's not really aware of me, our connection seems to be blocked, and I seem to be slowly fading away. I'm starting to feel that I'm beginning to disappear. I mean, I try to keep awake, but I keep nodding off or blacking out. And the human host, I mean, he's, apart from the usual blackouts he's been having, it's been normal, or normal as it could be for the past few months. Though he has somehow managed to resign his job without even knowing it. He was called into the office by his boss during a shift, and the next thing he knew, blacked out, and the next thing he woke up to see that his boss was saying goodbye to him and hoping he could work out his 4 weeks notice. And he doesn't remember how that happened, or signing anything, or writing a letter, or anything like that. And the only way I know about this is because I heard him talk to his mother on the phone, a bit worried. And he was concerned about how he could pay the rent and where he get his food. I mean, he's not rich, he gets enough to survive. And the furlough has helped him in terms of the monies and not having to pay for travel costs and things like that. So he went to check his bank account, and instead of the just over 1,000 he has usually, he had like 10, 15 times more money than that, and he doesn't know how it got there. And he asked the bank, and they checked his statement, and he was putting cash deposits in, and they said it was him. I mean, the lady remembers him, but he doesn't remember it, and now he's paranoid and concerned about, how did the money get there? Will people be asking for it back? Especially him having his Chinese name and whole issues of money laundering and crime and things like that. Gets a bit paranoid for some people from East Asian heritage. They assume things because of your name without even seeing you firsthand. Though, I mean, he's frightened, but he can't be as frightened as there's those poor people in Afghanistan who are trying to leave, the interpreters and the people that worked for the Western governments who are in danger of their lives. I mean, even those people that have paperwork can't get through because there's other people just blocking the way. They physically cannot get through. And they've only got till next Tuesday, the 31st, to get out. And it effectively might be earlier than that, because that 31st is when all the soldiers are helping people get out and all the equipment have to get out. A lot of the Western governments have been sort of rallying, pillaring, lobbying, I don't know what the word is, the USA leader to extend the deadline, and they've been trying to negotiate with the Taliban, the leaders of the Afghanistan, and no, the Taliban saying that's the deadline, that's it, that's the agreement, and if the Western forces don't leave, they will consider it an invasion and there'll be consequences. And they said that native Afghans should not be leaving. I think they're worried about all the talented people leaving their country because they still have a country to run. But I think people are very worried because of the history of the Taliban not allowing women to work or making them wear things, or so people are worried. And retribution, there have been rumours of, I think I said this last time, of people being killed and disappearing. And the UK government have been saying the same though. They've been saying that, you know, people should stay away from the airport area. Now, not because they don't want to evacuate them, because they had information that there might be something horrible happening around there, but they couldn't be specific. They couldn't be specific. And unfortunately yesterday it happened, and 2 bombs went off, one at the airport and one hotel, and soldiers were killed, USA soldiers and Afghans were killed, 72 I think. Though people are still trying to evacuate, continue with the evacuation as many people as possible. And through this chaos, the XXXX leader of the UK decided to give advice. I think his name begins with a T. Teflon? No, that's something else. But not sticking. Dirt not sticking to him. No. Oh, Tony. Teflon Tony. Yeah, anyway. I think withdrawing from Afghanistan is wrong and based on an imbecilic slogan, wrote the multi-billionaire ex-leader from his country estate that actually was one of the people that caused the whole problem in the first place. Yeah. But there's not all been bad news. One of the first female mayors in Afghanistan has managed to escape to Germany by hiding in a car, which is really good news. Though it must have been a terrible journey for her. I mean, you sort of must have seen sort of years, or not years, but days, sort of hiding in trapped in a confined space with hardly any room to move, any room to breathe, not being able to eat anything, no toilet facilities. It's a bit like commuting by train in the UK. Although, and it seems to be chaos everywhere. I mean, in a country in Europe called Armenia, there was a big brawl in their meeting room, I think the parliament or whatever they call it, because apparently the current government called the ex-government cowards or traitors, and they weren't happy, so they all had a big fight and there was a big brawl. It was a bit like a football match, like the Euro, you know, when they raided anything. But anyway, they all sort of behaved like football fans, and you know, but a lot of the members of parliament or their parliament were thrown out, or the government were thrown out. A bit like what happened in New Zealand in May, where this member of their government was complaining about how the New Zealand government was sort of abusing and mistreating, ignoring the indigenous people, who are the Maoris, which this member of parliament was. And as a protest, he did a haka, which is a dance, and he got thrown out of their parliament, though not for dancing. It was because he wasn't wearing a tie. I mean, maybe all this chaos, people need a bit of music to sort of calm them down and chill, though apparently you're not allowed to dance in some of the very extreme religious places. Anyway, because there was a very famous group a long time ago. They broke up a long time ago. They were famous, but when they broke up, they weren't that cool or trendy or popular. Well, they might have been popular, but it wasn't trendy to like them. And then 10 years later, suddenly it was cool to like them again. And a lot of people have been waiting for them to sort of come back again, even though it's been like decades. And there was this cryptic message on social media saying that they were going to be releasing 5 new songs and there's rumours that there might be a hologram tour. Now, a hologram tour, I presume, is when they're in the room, but they're not really there. A bit like, Andrew, the Queen's son, at family gatherings. Now, in the UK, they seem to be talking about a lot of beavers now. Beavers, yeah. Apparently there's a consultation about whether to put more beavers or showing more beavers on the rivers, or allowing more beavers on the rivers, because I think apparently people like to see a good beaver. Because apparently in the UK there was beavers everywhere, but the farmers used to chase beavers and frighten them all away. So they're talking about bringing the beavers back, but not all the farmers are happy about this. And many farmers do not like beavers at all, and they say it blocks their waters. And maybe they prefer cockerels, because it gets them up in the morning. Anyway, I'll get back to you next week.
If you change your mind, I'm the first in line. And can't you see? Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. Gonna be around. If you got